Oh, you ever thought this will only take 5 minutes and then realize that you were comically wrong? Yeah, well, welcome to Parkinson's time. You see, my body and my brain have, well, let's just call it a miscommunication issue. My hands, they're on their own schedule. My fingers are boycotting. My legs, they're just here for emotional support. Suddenly, what should take 30 seconds has now become a full-body strategy session. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how long it takes. Forward is forward, and we're still moving, so let's keep going. You got this.
Okay, so most people, they just tap on their phones and move on. Me, I try to open up one app and my phone opens up like 5. Trying to text, autocorrect turns, hey, how are you, into help, how are you? Swiping, hope you like random screenshots and accidental likes from 2013. And at this point, if I ever text you something really weird, just know that it was a team effort between me and my phone.
Falling asleep with Parkinson's, it's already a challenge. But then try to roll over, and suddenly you're in the middle of a full-scale military operation. You have to analyze the situation, trying to come up with the best strategy, then carefully shift your weight, slowly initiating the move, because too fast, the whole mission's compromised, and too slow, and you're never gonna make it. And when I finally make it to the other side, mission accomplished, job is done, the operation was a complete success. And then my bladder says, hey, since you're awake, let's go to the bathroom.
In a world where the ground feels shaky and memory is optional, 2 men will rise, armed with microphones, dry humor, and a suspicious number of pill bottles. They'll face tremors, stiffness, and the ultimate challenge, recording a podcast without forgetting what they were talking about. This is where Parkinson's gets real. This is Life in Motion, the Parkinson's podcast. Rated P for please take your meds first. Now, grab your earbuds, unless you forgot where you put them. Then just turn the volume up because today's episode is ready to go. Now, here are Bryce and Brian.
Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Life in Motion, the Parkinson podcast. I'm Bryce.
And I'm Brian, and today we're diving into something that every person with Parkinson's has faced, but not enough people talk about.
That's right. You know,
What
we're
is that,
talking.
Bryce?
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're talking about that off time.
Exactly.
Oh, right. Those moments when your meds wear off and your symptoms come rushing back like a bad sequel, right? And sometimes it hits at the worst possible times, Brian.
Yeah, like mid-sentence, mid-meal, even mid-bathroom break. You name it, it'll get you.
Check 2, check 3. Mid-sentence, anybody who's a regular of the podcast knows that's a me thing right off the bat. I can check that one 17 times. But exactly. So in today's episode, we're going to share our real life experiences with off time, you know, what it feels like, how we cope, and what actually helps us through it.
Plus, of course, we're going to have our classic Shakey and Fakey segment. It's
Oh my
back.
God, yes, it is.
I'm almost back, so I'm feeling good about that. But this time we're going to have 5 hilarious off-time moments, which I can't wait to hear. I think it's going to be a tough one today. I really do.
I think it is. It's so because you know what? I mean, everybody's different, but you know, we're all the same, but you know, we're different, but we're the same, right? And this off thing is just an awful thing. It's like it's awful. And how do you like that? Awful. You get that, Brian? Did you catch my dream? Awful.
I like it.
I like that.
I
one.
like it.
That was on the fly. You know, you can tell. But anyway, it is awful, and I think that I worked hard at this one. I worked really hard because I really wanted to get you. So, okay, well let's dig right into this because it's such a big topic, and you know, in our community, and thank you to our loyal viewers and our listeners wherever you are and where you're joining us. We love you. We're thankful for you. And if this is your first time that you've seen us, where the heck have you been? We've only been on this is I think I don't know what episode this is, maybe the 15th or 20th, I think, Brian. I'm not really sure, but welcome. And if you know, follow along with us, subscribe, and come for the ride because I think you'll enjoy it. But I said all that quickly because I want to say this off time, we all deal with it. It's awful, and I'll tell you a little bit. Let's talk about what it feels like, okay? And I'll share mine first, Brian, if that's okay, and then and you as well. But so for me, it feels like I'm like being slowly shut down. Right, like one system at a time. You ever seen those movies, Brian? Like the I don't know, like Star Wars or whatever. And you know how like when they're losing their power, it's like It's not just an
Totally.
automatic blackout, right? It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like one section by one. That's what my body like feels like. It's like my body starts to slow down to a crawl. Like my legs start to drag, my hands start to stiffen, my speech starts to slur. It's like I'm moving through wet cement. And Carmen always says, she's like, right away, that's one of the key signals where she's like, oh, what's going on? Like, your meds wearing off, or did we miss a deal? Like, where are we? Are we late? Because I'll be talking and I'll just like slowing down, and it's just, and I don't even know what's happening. But for me, that's how it comes. It comes on a crawl, comes kind of coming in. So what about for you? What's it feel like?
Yeah. I feel like somebody's tinkered with my GPS system, quite frankly. It's like it's either unplugged or they've, to your point, it's not black and white. It's a misty gray. And I feel like the rusty old Tin Man, to be honest with you, and I can relate to that because I was called the Tin Man with my heart stuff that I went through prior to this illness. But if you remember when she first comes across the Tin Man on the yellow brick road, she has to get the oil out, and he can hardly move his jaw. Now, this is like that because it's the only thing that's predictable about the off is it's unpredictable.
Exactly.
Right. And
exactly.
I feel frozen, and it's almost like, if you remember the Carol Burnett show, there was Tim Conway and Carol Burnett, and
what
her
show?
name Carol
What
Burnett.
show?
Carol Burnett show.
Oh, I guess that's way before my time. I guess, Brian.
You'll grow into these conversations.
I'm teasing. I know. I think I was in diapers. You were probably babysitting me, but yes,
I was
remember.
changing them, but it's all good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So, anyways, no, all good. So, and her name was Mrs. Wiggins, and he had a shuffle step when he walked. And he was chasing her, Mrs. Wiggins, but he was hardly moving. That's what it's like. I get that, and then I know I've got a stone face, and I know it's a crabby one. I don't usually, that's not my business card. I don't usually carry that scowl around, if you like. But
RBF, you get RBF.
Exactly.
And if you know what RBF is, in the comments, just give us a thumbs up and say like RBF thumbs up. Don't say what it is. It's just RBF thumbs up. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's and I can feel it. I know. And it's what's interesting, Bryce, is it falls in within 20 to 30 minutes of when I'm due for my next set of pills.
Yeah.
And I can feel, I get a tingly sensation, right? And then it's kind of like when the transporter was taking the Star Trek guys up and down from planets. You get that, and then I go from that to I'm frozen. I'm the Tin Man. I'm quicksand. I'm all those things. Totally.
Absolutely. And it's funny, that's, it's Brian and I have an ongoing debate on who came up with the Tin Man first, because we didn't know each other at the time, but I was talking about Tin Man feeling in the morning, and you were talking about Tin Man. It was hilarious because we kind of were meeting and we're like, hey, how you doing? And we're doing the typical, when you meet somebody, one Parkinson person to another, again, I joke, it's always those two things: how long you've been diagnosed and how many yellow pills do you take and how often, right? So it's like we got through that, and then it was like, man, you look good. And he's like, yeah, you do too. And it's like, well, yeah. And then it was like the Tin Man thing. He's like, no, but he's got caught. Like it's in his book, so I guess I have to. I'm not giving you the nod. I think we both had it running.
Here's the jump ball. Here's the jump ball. Why it's in my favor. My license plate on my vehicle is Tin Man 07 because I had my heart surgery. It is in 2007.
Oh well, did you know what mine is? You know what my license plate is?
No.
Tin Man number 1.
I think you
I'm just
could
kidding.
Be. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Just kidding. Does it really say that though, Brian? Does it really say that? 07?
Honestly, I swear.
I love that.
Parents' graves. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, now at least the tip ball in your favor in your mind, because in my mind I was like, okay, I said this way before 2007, which I didn't. So yes, I will give it to you. I will give that to you, Brian. I will say this though: I think we came up on our own, but it's so cool. It's just one of those things that it's just it resonated with each other. We have a lot of. It's funny because we have a lot of the same symptoms, like same like feeling, but then we have a lot that are completely different, which I think makes it for a good back and forth. But everything you just said, 100% agree with. I go through the exact same thing. And what about you? In the comments, in the comments, if how does it deal with you? How do you feel? How does it feel like? Can you describe that in the comments? Because, there's so many people that will our comment section on YouTube, it's insane. It's just crazy. There's so many, and people comments and they're
Awesome.
helping each other. So, you know, if you put something in there that's different than Brian and I, you know, it will resonate with somebody. So you're helping people. So we want to know, how does it make you feel? And we read and respond to every single comment. So we'd love you to get in there. But here's kind of the thing though, Brian, the worst part of this whole thing, this to me is the worst part. And it's typical Parkinson's, you know, typical silly disease, but it's not predictable, right? You can be on a schedule, you can eat the right things, you can do all the right stuff, and it still can sneak up on you, right? I get what you were saying about that, you know, about 30 minutes before. So my side trick on that. So that was my whole journey about, you know, this meds on time every time. And then what I do is I try to, like, I don't want that 30 minutes, right? Because that's what I started journaling. Boom, it's happening in 30 minutes. Boom, it's happening in 30 minutes. Boom, it's happening in 30 minutes. And when I went back to my doctor, we're like, okay, I want to eliminate that. When it starts, I want, because my pills take about 20 to 30 minutes to kick in. So if I know if I know it's starting at like 3 hours and 30 minutes, that's why I went down to 3 hours, because at 3 hours and 30 minutes, typically on a good pattern, is when I started feeling it come on. So we like, okay, so then we cut my doses back to cut them to every 3 hours, so that when I take that pill or the meds, levodopa, it's got that 30-minute run to almost hit. When it starts to kicking in is when my others were kicking out. So that's that balance that I'm always trying to encourage people to try to, with their healthcare team and their doctors, to work to get towards. But the other stuff, to me, it's so frustrating, because Brian, I could do something so good today and feel very proud of myself, you know, and give myself a cookie and a shirt and eat I get my reward, my peanut M&M reward. And then tomorrow I can't do it, or something sneaks up on me and I'm frozen in the middle of doing it. And that's hard. It's hard when it sneaks up on you like that.
Totally. No, I hear you. And the other thing is, when it happens in public, at first, it's a little daunting. I handle it different today than I did in the past, let's say, but you're trying to keep it together while your body's out there giving you the silent treatment. An example, we talked about this recently. I went out for a family thing to a bowling alley. I haven't bowled before Parkinson's for sure. And I was an hour from my actual pill due time, and I froze. And
hold on, sorry, you cut out there just for a second. You had a little. Say it again. You went out to the bowling alley, and then what did you say?
I was an hour from when my next batch were due.
Gotcha.
I could feel the transponder coming to get me, and it hit me, and I had to miss a couple of ends. My grandson came with me. We got me some water. Took my meds, and we recovered. And I did finish bowling, but I threw a couple of balls while I was still mostly frozen.
Yeah,
not easy. It was not. It was comical.
It's one thing to try to figure out on your own why I'm stuck in the hallway, right, all by yourself. Or there's another thing to try to explain it to your family or your friends when they're around. Like, hey, kids, it's just, Dad's over here. I'm leaning against the wall, and just for fun, and just come, I'm like artwork, just kind of like, whatever. It's another thing when you're in public and you're, like you said, in a bowling alley or in a mall, and now you're just right, and people are looking like, what the heck's happening to this guy? Like, what's the matter with him? It's hard. It's tough. Let's be honest. It's tough.
It is. We were playing 10-pin, not 5-pin, so that's harder. Picture me doing the Mrs. O'Wiggins shuffle with the bowling ball to get to the line, right? The only thing I didn't have on was my red Adidas shorts from the 70s. It would have been perfect.
Darn it, I was going to make it. I forgot about those. Thank you for reminding me about the red Adidas shorts. We'll see those in an upcoming thumbnail. I know, I guarantee it. But I think, God, that's amazing. But to your point, right? And I can just see you, Mr. Competitive, because that's the thing. When I'm standing there frozen, I know it's not like I'm frozen. I'm like, come on, feet. I'm yelling at them. I'm doing everything else. I can only imagine you in the middle of this competitive 10, not 5-pin, right? 10-pin bowling, massive competition. Brian's on target. I see you like Fred Flintstone, you ever remember, like he's on his toes, and he right and roll. I can see you, everything else, and now you're frozen, and now I can see you just arguing the crap out of yourself in your head, going like, what are you doing? Come on, man, we're literally, I'm going to be up in 2 more turns. It's my turn. I need this. I can see that. And And that's where that frustration comes from, right? Because you don't, why is this happening now? Why is it happening now? And so let's break it down a little bit. So again, what causes off time? Off time usually, as Brian and I were just talking about, usually happens when your medication wears off. But there's so many things that come into play, right, Brian? Like there's protein and meals and things that we can control, but we can't control, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just if you're stressed, if you're not getting your right amount of sleep, if you're not drinking enough water, you're dehydrated, all of that. And then the protein thing is, you should not take your pills at the same time as having a protein meal. It should be the 30 minutes before or after that. So, there's other things you need to keep in mind. And like you were saying earlier, we're busy and it's not always that easy. Like for me, I've got 8 3-hour windows of medication I got to manage around the clock every day.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's a ton. It's a ton. And I've learned the hard way. I plan my meals and my meds like I'm coordinating a military mission. And so you're right. It's hard. But here's what's harder. Let's put it this way. What would you rather? Would you rather maybe take a half an hour and plan out your day, right, and plan out your meds and kind of because I do that. I look at and I take about 30 minutes in the morning and I think about it. Well, when I'm laying there and I can't move and I have to wait 30 minutes for my meds to kick in, I got to think about my day. So I think about it and then I get up and I write it down. I'm like, just to figure out where I'm at. So I know that I take my first dose. I know you take some through the night. When I first wake up, as soon as I wake up, I take my first dose. So I know 3 hours from that moment that I just woke up. So if I wake up at 6, I know my dose is at 9, right? 9, 12, and so on. But then I look at it, I'm like, okay, I'm at 6, I'm at 9, I'm at 12, I'm at 3, or let's say, and then 6. Oh man, but you know what? At 2:45 or 2:30, we're starting the podcast. So then I have to start. I start working around it and backwards, and I start shaving some time. So that I try the things that are really, really important to me that day. And see, look, Brian, see how important you are to me. I want to be my best for you. That's how important you are. But like I was with my daughter yesterday. I want to be my best when I'm around my kids and when I'm doing stuff or I'm at work or I'm doing things like that. So I look at what's my most top priority that day. And then I kind of work around that to make sure that I'm peaking at the right time. And that's why everybody says you look so good all the time, because that's the only way they see me. They don't see me as the Tin Man in the morning.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, nope, you're spot on.
Yeah, it's wild. It can be wild. It is wild. And I know it's hard to manage. I know it's a tough one for people, even, so newly diagnosed, but there is, don't get discouraged. We're going to talk a little bit more about, what we do and how we handle it and ways we, kind of deal with it. But before we do that, have a look at watch this Brian.
Get ready for the only game show where the stakes are low, but the side eyes are high. It's time for Shakey or Fakey, the game where one fact is true, one is totally made up, and Bryce and Brian pretend they studied. Will they nail the neuroscience or flunk the funk? Play along in the comments and see if you can beat the bros. Let the Shakey Showdown begin.
It is Shakey Fakey time, Brian's most favorite part of the episode, only if he's winning and doing well. So today, Brian, it's you've got a very special competitor today. Someone that I highly admire. You don't know about this. Someone I highly admire and I think is just an amazing person. It's me. It's me and you. We're head to head. We're head to head. So Shakey Fakey, it's your first time here. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna read Brian a statement that has either come out of our comments or from a viewer of something, which you'll see, or I completely made it up, and Brian is going to have to sniff that out, and he's going to, if he thinks it's a true statement, that's Shakey, and if he thinks it's a false statement that I made it up, then that is a Fakey, and then we'll see how well he does, and it's Bryce against Brian today. So I want a mug, Brian. I want a mug. I want to buy myself a mug from our swag store. I want a Life in Motion mug. So I'm going to play hard on this one. Okay, I really am. And we actually had someone, Brian, just so you know, and I know I'm looking off the side. Whoops, look at that. There go my meds. There's my meds. Okay, perfect. So we had someone, there's a form, and if you want to be a contestant, you want to take Brian on, there is a link in the description below to sign up and take him on. Or if you've had a funny story or something that you think might be a good one to use on Shakey Fakey, you can send it in, because we actually had one this week here, and so I'm mixing it into the card rack here, Brian, and we'll see how it goes. But are you ready for the first one? I think these are
Yeah.
going to be super easy for you, by the way. I think they're going to be super easy. Here we go.
Okay.
Number one, and play along with us in the comments. Again, put the number beside it so we know what you're guessing at. So here we go. Here's question number one. I tried to make espresso during off times. Shaky hands launched the portafilter into the ceiling, showering the kitchen with hot coffee and turning my cat brown. The cat now avoids me, and the ceiling still smells like Starbucks. I love that. Is that Shaky or Fakey? I'll read it. Do you want to hear it one more time? So anyway, they were on their meds.
Yeah.
They tried to make espresso, and it, I guess whatever, it shot up, hit the ceiling, showered the kitchen with hot coffee all over their cat. Now the cat avoids them, and the kitchen smells like espresso. Is that Shaky, Brian, or Fakey? What do you think? What do you think of the comments? What do you think?
I'm actually going to go Shaky on that one. I feel sorry for that cat. I hope it's okay.
Me and cats don't get along, so I'd be okay with that.
I love cats.
So did you say that was Shaky? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally made that up, Brian.
Nice.
That was Fakey. Totally made that one up, and I am 1 for 1.
There you go.
I love this.
Nicely done.
I love this, Brian. I'm gonna love it. I'm loving it already. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. I put my coat on during off time, and I got stuck with both arms halfway in. Had to shuffle to the living room and ask my spouse to rescue me before I passed out from overheating. So someone was in their off times, and they got their hands stuck and they couldn't get the sweater off. Husband had to be the hero again, and it's okay to let your husband be the hero sometimes. I don't mind being a hero sometimes. But anyway, what do you think, Brian? Do you think that's Shaky true or Fakey false?
I was at the Keg restaurant a couple 3 months ago, and it was time to leave, and I was putting my coat on, and I got stuck. And I think people thought maybe I'd had one toke over the line, sweet Jesus or something. But I was sober as a judge. So I'm going to go with, I think this is true, Shaky.
Shaky, yeah. So yeah, was it you? Was it you that did this one? No, you're absolutely right. That one was Shaky. Question number 2 was Shaky, and that brings us to a tie again, doesn't it, Brian?
Yipper.
It really does, doesn't it? Darn
I'm
it.
focused. Can you tell? Like I'm waiting.
I know you're late. You're locked in. Like I can see the laser focus on you. It's like it's like amazing. So, all right, here we go.
Shut up and give me the question.
All right, here we go. Question number 3: Shaky or Fakey, Brian? I was taking something to my patio, and all of a sudden, I could not move my foot. I thought, okay, this is it. The freezing started. Come to find out, I'd spilled hummingbird nectar on the floor, and my foot was actually stuck to the floor. So this lady was taking. She thought that she felt the tingling. She thought, "Oh my God, I'm going into my stuck spot." All to find out that she spilled hummingbird nectar on her foot, and she was stuck. Do you think that is?
What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? Me?
Do I have to go first? No, or do
I wrote these things. I know the answers. No, I win if you lose.
Okay.
See, if I outduel you,
I'm gonna go Shaky.
So you know what I mean. So if I outduel you,
I get it.
What are you going Shaky?
I get it. I'm gonna go Shaky.
Do you think that's true? You sure?
I have a hummingbird feeder and it's sticky.
Okay. All right.
Fakey.
Well, a big thanks to Cheryl. Cheryl submitted that in this week, so it was absolutely true. One of our viewers. So great story. I thought that was a great story. Could you imagine that though, Brian? Like you should try that. You have a hummingbird feeder back. You should just try it. Like go out on the deck and just pour on your feet and just see what happens.
It is stitched up. Mine's packed right now, but I'll do it when I get to the other side.
Okay, let's do an experiment. I'd love to see what happens there. Okay, so what does that make you, Brian?
1 for 2. Well, I get half for that, but I said both.
Oh, you're 2 for 3.
All right, I'll go 2 for 3.
You said Shaky, right? Yeah, you're 2 for 3.
I did.
You're a horrible scorekeeper, but you're 2 for 3.
I have a pencil with an eraser. Same in a golf cart.
Okay, I love it. Okay, you ready for this one? This is I took my big dog.
Number four.
Number four. Shaky or Fakey. I took my big dog for a walk during an off time, as I found out. He pulled so hard that I slid across the sidewalk on my stomach for a block. Neighbors waving as it was like I was in a parade. I got home with leaves in my teeth, but hey, at least my dog was happy. So the dog, in the off time, couldn't do much. Dog pulled him around through the leaves. the neighbors waved as they went by. And that's yeah. So I don't know. What do you think there, Big Brian? Big Brian, do you think that's shaky true or fakey false?
I need to know the weight of the person. No, I'm kidding.
You want to do that? Yeah. From now on, when you submit your comments, please give us more details for Brian.
Exactly. Okay, I'm not going to delay any longer. I'm going to go shaky.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me right now? Really?
I am sitting.
No, I totally made that up. I made it up. I totally made it up. As a matter of fact, I made it up so well.
I still thought you had, but
I made it up so well that when I read it, I thought you were gonna. I thought, oh my god, I made it too easy because I slid across the sidewalk on my stomach for a block. Neighbors waving as there's in a parade. Got home with leaves in my teeth, but hey, at least the dog was happy. I thought.
So I live on the end of a court right now, and a lot of dog walkers come into the field behind me. And
yeah.
This one lady almost gets pulled off her feet, and gets pulled the way you described it.
Really? But for a whole block.
So that put me as I've almost seen it happen. Yeah, absolutely. My bad. Yeah, I thought that was far fetched.
Okay. Well then, okay. But I got you.
Oh, I'm getting out, so I'm starting to see some triggers.
All right. 2 for 4. 2 for 4. Yeah. 2 for 4. Okay.
Right,
you ready for this? Here we go.
Yeah. Number 5. It's 2-2 by the way.
Okay, here we go. I was walking in my kitchen and suddenly both legs turned to jelly. I grabbed the fridge, slid down, and my dog thought it was a new game and he tried to sit on me.
Sounds simple. I'm going to go shaky.
Walking. Do you think that's a shaky? You think that's a shaky?
Yeah.
That is a shaky. That's true. And they called it the Jello leg jig. The Jello leg jig. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was it was so good. I thought it was so good. The Jello leg jig. So that makes you what? That makes you 3 for 5, right? 3 for 5. Yep. You want one bonus one? You want a bonus one today?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to call this one the grocery cart rodeo. I went shopping and I tried steering the cart. One hand worked and one decided it didn't want to work. I ended up spinning the cart in circles and nearly took out a tower of paper towels. The grocery cart Bryce? Rodeo. Yes, sir.
When we go to the grocery store, I am the cart guy every time because you don't know when something's going to attack you, so to speak. So it's more support is why I do it.
Yep.
There's almost a hack in that. What I would say is this one is true. It's shaky.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It is shaky. You nailed it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good job. All right. Well, that's pretty good job. Okay.
I feel pretty good about myself.
Yeah, I think you're 4 for 6. I mean, that's pretty good, but I'll give you one more just for fun.
Jeez. Okay.
Just going to throw it in there. Here you go. This is for fun. This is your bonus round. Remember, and just for fun, but we're going to call this the make or break question. So you're 4 for 6 right now, Brian, and you wanted to gamble. You said, give me one more. So I am. But because of that, you can't go back. That means that whoever wins this one takes the round. So if you lose, I win. And if you win, if you get it right, if you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, I win. And this is it. We're calling this the self-driving car fiasco. The self-driving car fiasco. Had such a bad off time, I accidentally triggered my car's self-driving mode. Car took me to the nearest yoga studio instead of home. Sat through the entire class before realizing my mistake. At least my downward dog has improved. Had such a bad off time that the car actually triggered my car's self-driving mode. Car took me to the nearest yoga studio instead of home, and I went and did the whole class. Didn't even realize I wasn't supposed to be there, and had fun. So there you go. That's called the self-driving car fiasco. Did a viewer actually comment that, send it in, or whatever, or did Bryce make it up? This is it, Brian. This is the big question. You know the pressure right here. I mean, I can see the sweat forming on the top of your eyebrows because this is so huge. And you're kind of going like, oh my God, it sounds like he made it up. But oh my God, what if it was true? Oh, what do I do?
Fake.
Fakey?
Final answer. Fakey.
Attaboy. You got it. Boom. Bam. You win. Shaky for Fakey. Shaky and Fakey. Good job, Brian. I love it. And if you want to take, I just love it. I love it. I love it. If you want to take Brian on and come on the live, come on with us and take Brian on and beat him at Shakey Fakey, there is a link in the description below.
That's it for this round of Shakey or Fakey. where the facts are fuzzy and the fun is fully intentional. Think you can do better? Sign up to be a guest and take on Bryce or Brian in a future showdown. Just follow the link in the description, and you might be the next contestant on Shakey or Fakey. Cue the awkward outro music.
Well, good job, Brian. That was amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
yeah, but I don't want to hang on it too long. I mean, we don't have to, I don't want your head to get too big. But what I really want to do is I want to talk about what helps and what doesn't help. Okay, so let's kind of segment into that with these off times. So let's talk like real world strategies. Like for me, and again, everybody knows this, but repetition is important. Okay, but for me, keeping a rigid med schedule for me is absolutely
Yeah.
meds on time every time. I set alarms. You heard my alarm go off a minute ago. I still haven't taken those. I should have taken that during that, but I'll take them right away. My alarms go off. I carry extra pills around just in case. I've got my pill timer caps on there to tell me when they're going off. And 3 minutes, 3 hours. It says, I don't know if you can see that, Brian. 3 hours and 12 minutes. I'm 12 minutes behind on my schedule, which I don't like doing. So I'm actually going to take those while you talk next. But for me, that's the number one thing that helps me try to avoid those off periods.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I did a study of myself just to make sure that I had the right schedule. So it's important to have that in place and then follow it religiously, like you said. But I've learned to be flexible with my day, but not with my meds. I take them like you rang out there a few minutes ago. You said, you take them at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. I have a set time and I follow it. So I avoid big protein meals as well, like I said before, around the dosage. And it's been a game changer for me. Other than that bowling incident, I've never been surprised with, oh my, here it comes now. It's predictable as I can get with this bloody disease, to be honest with you.
Well, I did on the channel. There's one that said it's the three. I did one called the three body sounds or signs to look for, because I said your body's going to give you hints and tricks that it's coming, like it's coming, like you talked about in the beginning. And what's funny about it, the other thing I want to throw in here too is I just had I had a sip of water with my pills, and that's another thing too, is hydration helps. Hydration actually helps, and so not only that was why I just threw that in there, but my big one too is keeping track of those trends, right? Like not just saying, oh God, I think it's every 3.5 hours. I think it is. Like, let's talk facts. So when you walk into the doctor's office and you've got, whether it's 6 months, 9 months, or whatever it's been since you've been there, that you have facts. You can say, here's the facts, like 50% of the time, this is what's happening. And that way your healthcare team can make better decisions for you, rather than just, if you go in, how are you feeling? I think I'm okay. How you've been feeling okay? Yeah, I feel, maybe my meds are wearing off too early. But you know what? Go in there armed, and you build that rapport and that trust. So even like with now 15 years into this thing with my doctor, right? Every 6 months, it's 30 appointments, 40 appointments. And, we kind of walk in and he says, okay, where are we at? And I basically tell him, okay, here's what's happening. He's like, okay, well, you know what to do. I go, yeah, but you need to prescribe it. So let's just figure this out. But I mean, that's how we work together on it. So I think that's a huge thing, to keep track of it and track it. And then that way you can speak better to it.
Totally agree. And I've done that. The thing I don't want to do, and I was doing at the beginning, was to just tough it out and remain silent.
Oh, yeah.
I started by educating those that are close to me first. And I think I've said on this show previously, my kids or my wife or whomever is in that circle will go, hey, camper, can you light the barbecue, or are you freezing right now? And I'll go, I'm either good, bad, and I'll explain it, right? And it works. But now I don't have the same fear of using that outside that circle of trust, if you like. If I'm at the keg putting on my coat, I just look at them and I would have said, I've got Parkinson's and I don't have good mobility right now. Thanks for your patience while I got out of my chair, or whatever the case may be, right?
Absolutely.
So I try to put it that way. And it's amazing how people become sensitized, sympathetic, however you want to say it. But they become sensitive to who you are and what you are actually trying to accomplish. And you get, one of those sheepish kind of smiles where they're happy for you, but they feel bad for you at the same time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think you're to your point, you're exactly right. I spent 5 years trying to hide this thing from
I know you
everybody,
did.
right?
I don't know how you
And I
did that.
tried so hard, and so I just find it so much easier now,
Oh
just
yeah.
to pre-tell people so that when it does happen, they're not caught off guard. They know what's happening. They know, they know what's going on. And then you know what you can also do if you tell people out front, you can pull a freeze. You ever heard of a pull a freeze, Brian? A
No.
pull a freeze. I call it a pull a freeze. In other words, it'd be like, hey, you know what? Okay, here's the scenario. I'm at a barbecue, right? At a barbecue, like you were talking about. I'm at the barbecue, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, everybody, we need all the people to go in the garage and help push the car. The car needs to be pushed out of the garage. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. And I start walking, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to push the car, so I pull a freeze. I'm like, oh,
I get it.
I'm just teasing. But I think that's one of the hardest parts about off time. Isn't it what you said is like, isn't just the physical part, right? It's the emotional part, like the mental side of this
Mhm.
off. It's so hard. I've had days where, I felt like a burden. Like I just said, like where they'll say, "Hey, let's go push the car." I'm like, I can't help you. I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, I was always the go-to guy, right? I was the guy that everybody went to. I was the go-to guy. I would help you move. I could do anything, right? Like in my head, obviously. But now there's days I just feel like a burden. Like there's some days I feel like a burden, and like I'm just holding people up, or I'm just being embarrassed. I don't want to embarrass them. Does that make sense? If I'm out with my
Right.
friend,
Yeah.
I don't want them to be embarrassed of something that I'm doing that's causing them. Like if I'm having some dyskinesia or something, it's like everybody's looking at, and that it's hard. That's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. I don't have the tremors and stuff, so I don't deal with that. But I used to, like I said, I used to be sensitive and would hide from it, and now I'm quite open. The other night, I think I mentioned this before. This past weekend, over with some friends, we went for dinner, came back for a wrap up cocktail or whatever, and I'm starting to get the sweats quite a bit
Oh yeah.
as a side effect. And I'm telling you, like the water was pouring off of me. I had to get paper towel to dry
Mhm.
myself off, and I just told them what was going on. Now, as it turns out, she has MS, so she kind of could relate to what it was and how I was handling it and how I would feel.
Mhm.
So I had more of a sympathetic ear, if you like, in that regard. But I didn't know that and use it to my advantage. I just said it because I felt I owed it to them. Why is
Mhm.
one person out of four sweating like they just got out of a pool? So
Well, it's so funny because uh, the video on the channel Reese Tester on dyskinesia, I tell a story in that. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But there's a story at the end where we're out. And my dyskinesia, I've got it, absolutely have it. And when I go, there's just it comes in it. I've 15 years on levodopa, right? So I have some of it, but every once in a while, and Carmen calls it, so my hand just does its thing, and sometimes you could see it on the pot, like I'm just be like this. I have so many tricks for my stuff that I've learned over the years. Like when I start feeling my hand going, I'll start either like look like I'm biting my nails, or like biting my hand, or I'll sit on my hand, that type of thing. So I'm trying to stop it. But anyway, we were all out for dinner. We're sitting around this table with all our friends, and so Carmen and I didn't realize, but I guess my hands start doing like this. Like I start doing things and like this and so she calls it like conducting the orchestra, right? So she's like, hey,
uh,
right? Like she's like, are you just conducting the orchestra, or are you trying to be the center of attention? And everybody was like cracking up and laughing, and it was so like cool. It was just cool. My friends, people that love you and are around you, it's so cool. And I'm glad that they know, because of pre-tell them, right? Here's some weird
mhm.
crap that Parkinson's might do. And it might happen, it might not happen. And don't worry about it if it does. Like I'm okay. Like if I'm think about that from a friend standpoint. If you don't tell people that you're around, let's say if you are around friends or family and you're trying to be cool, and it's never going to happen to me, right? It's never going to happen to me. And then all of a sudden you're stuck. Can you imagine how they're looking at you going like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? How to help them? But if they know out front that, hey, sometimes this happens. And it's like for me, when I freeze, right? If I'm frozen stuck, like, and I can't move, I need someone to push me. Like I need someone to push my legs
Oh, wow.
and get them moving, right? And so if I don't tell them that, I'm like, hey, okay, here's now I'm sitting here frozen trying to explain to them what to do to help me, and I just want this to get moving, like just push me and let's go, And so I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's why again, it's just so easier. It's much easier to tell people beforehand. But I want to say something really, really clearly here, Brian, because we've been, all these things. I want, like, off time doesn't mean you're weak, and it doesn't mean, hey, if you messed up your pills and you're crazy or you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, because as Brian and I talked about in the beginning, we're talking about, managing these meds and managing your flows. It's not saying you do all this and you're going to be 100% the way it is, because we said it's unpredictable. Sometimes you've done everything right. You did everything the way you did it yesterday, but somehow today you're getting a different result. It just means that your brains and your meds, they're doing this delicate dance. There's a delicate dance, Brian. And sometimes, you know what? They step on each other's toes and it pisses me off. But it's nothing to feel, it's nothing to feel bad about. It's nothing to feel weird about.
And you almost need to tell people at the very beginning, off time is normal. You're not weird.
It is totally normal.
Right?
It's funny. It's not funny. I say it's funny, but it's not funny. But think about when you go back when you were just first diagnosed, Brian. Like we don't know this stuff, right? We walk out, you only have, for me, when he said, you have Parkinson's disease, it was like, after that was like the Charlie went, wow, 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 and you hear nothing. It's a blur, right? It's a blur. What in the hell just happened? It's a blur. And they can only tell you so much. You can only retain so much. So it's like you walk out of there and you walk out of there knowing nothing, right? So it's amazing when you educate yourself and you're watching podcasts like this or getting involved, from two of the most exceptionally well-versed and educated Parkinson's patients on the planet. No, but I'm just teasing. But like when you have the general expert, and Bryce, it's, and I'd say that teasingly.
I love it.
We're getting it from two different perspectives. Some are the same, some are different. But I'm watching even the comments, and it's so wild to me, because I'm watching. Just got diagnosed the other day, and this happened to me. What in the world? And there was a comment yesterday in yesterday's video about dyskinesia, and it started off, "Am I crazy? Am I crazy?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's happening here?" And in the comment it said, "Am I crazy? This is happening to me, and what's happening here? Am I going nuts? Like, what's happening?" And you think back to when you first got diagnosed, and when you don't know these things, it's scary, right? It's frightening, it's scary, and that's why things like, we need to talk about these things. We need to educate people, not only people, but other people with Parkinson's, and then so it becomes normal. Not you know what I mean? What that conversation is normal.
They're not unique. We've all got it to a certain extent to what it might be, and for me, I could just march to the fact that it's just a new rhythm for me to learn.
Absolutely, and we know you said something, Brian. You said something earlier, and that's what I wish someone would have told me right in the very beginning, that it was okay to ask for help during those moments, and that I just stop pretending. You don't have to pretend like you have it all together, because I didn't have it all together at all, but I was pretending I did. And I think I was wearing myself out trying to pretend so long. It was crazy. So I appreciate what you said there, and being like, it's just like, almost like, I won't say like own it. It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree with that? You do agree with that? I don't know. I just, again, the more we talk about it, the more we get people involved with it, and the more we don't hide it, the more normal it will become to people, and they won't surprise them. And I think that you'll start to learn really, really fast. Like Parkinson's can be a separator of a disease, right? Like you find out really quick who your real friends are, or your, even some people, even relationships, that you find out really fast, who's in your corner and who really loves you and who really cares for you. And the people that love and care for you, it doesn't bother them.
It's funny. We were packing up some stuff yesterday, and there's a ladder that's hanging up in the garage that normally I would do a Spidey Man and go get it. I just said to Lori, I'll get somebody to pick it up on the weekend or get it down. And for a few days, it was eating at me. And finally, I guess I was at the right moment of my meds that I said I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I did, and I handled it perfectly. Lori came into the garage and was like, "Holy hell, how did that happen?" I said, "You'd have been impressed, but I wasn't going to call you unless I hurt myself." And I said, "There's no Band-Aids required here." I checked the box on that one. It felt good.
That's when I almost want to have my whole house full of cameras, so that when I do something good, you can watch the replay. Because sometimes I don't even know how I did it. Like, it's like, exactly. I'd be like, "How did you survive that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Can we watch it on tape? Because I'm not sure what happened there. I want to see it again."
It was crazy, but it was pretty cool. I slept good that night.
That's cool, right? And then you feel good, and it's like, it's okay. And I think that's the message that yeah, you're not alone. If if you're going through this stuff, or you're thinking about this stuff, or this stuff makes you anxious, and here's part two to it as well. Even pre-thinking about a lot of these things, sometimes we can work ourselves up into such a frenzy that our body is just firing all over the place. Like we can be so anxious and so nervous and so overthinking this dinner party we're going to, or this meeting we're going to. One of the things for me was the kids. You know what it was for me was the kids. What do you call it? Teacher. What do you call it? Parent. The parent teacher. Showdown.
Parent teacher interviews.
Yeah,
their interviews. Yeah.
What are they called?
Parent teacher interview.
Yeah, yeah. I called it the showdown. Well, mine was always, one of my kids was always a showdown, parent teacher showdown. But those would freak me out because I didn't want to walk in there and be all like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, "Hey," and them, because then them thinking that I can't take care of my kid, or what's wrong with this person? There's something, if they don't know about it. So those, when I get so overwhelmed and so anxious about it, like I don't let so one thing I've just learned for myself, I don't let anxiety stop me from doing things. I do it, and no matter how awful it's making me feel at the time. But those things right there, the more I really stress out about it, the more stressed I wouldn't sleep the night before, and that makes my system like I was building myself up to do exactly what I didn't want to do, just based on how I was, like, everything was happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wild.
You're trying to avoid it, but you're letting more in if you think about it, right?
Totally, because the more stressed out you get the worse sleep you get. You maybe miss your meals. You're not thinking properly.
All the stuff.
Yeah, you're exasperating your symptoms, and it's gonna be a blowout at the old K Corral for you, my friend.
Over-communicate.
But that's okay.
Over-communicate. Don't wait 5 years.
Yeah, early. That's the key. Early and over communicate 100%. And
early's right.
Yeah, and you know what? And then, but don't be so hard on yourself. If that is you, if you're out there and you're sitting here going like, "Oh my God, that's me. That's me." If you can relate to that in the comments, let us know, please. We're here to help. The community is here to help you, but let us know, because there's no shame in that. It's okay. We've been there, right? We're coming from 10 and 15 years of experience to say, "Oh my God, you should have seen me, for a long time. I dealt with this." We've hopefully, we haven't mastered everything. We still go through it, but there's no shame in this. Don't feel bad. Just say, "Yeah, I'm one of them," right? You've joined the club. You're in the club that nobody wanted to be a part of.
A couple of weeks ago, I was barbecuing a bunch of chicken wings, like 60 to 70 chicken wings, all on the grill at once, right?
Yeah.
And my right arm is where I have my challenge. So I was flipping these one at a time, and I did good for the first couple of flips. And then for the third one, I gave him the tongs, said, "You're on."
Yeah.
And I left. I couldn't do it anymore.
Beautiful. I love that. Look at you. You're still
there.
The
ladder was good. The chicken wings were not so good.
Okay, I just saw the thumbnail in my head, Brian. I just saw the thumbnail. I've got you in front of the barbecue with a bunch of chicken wings in your red Speedos.
I love it.
I'll see if I can recreate that.
I had a Mark Spitz Speedo. It's funny you say that.
Well, a Speedo? Did I say a Speedo? No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I probably did. No. Adidas, red Adidas. I got to go with the Adidas shorts
from the 70s. Those short ones, baby.
Yeah. Unless you want to see Brian in a Speedo, we could, in the comments below, if you say Brian Speedo, we'll flip it out. Maybe we'll get him to model his old Speedo for us.
Shakey or Fakey? Should he or shouldn't he?
Now, when did we lose control of this episode? Before this goes too far in the gutter. Yeah, before this goes too far in the gutter. I just, if you made it this far, thank you. Seriously, thank you. We hope that this episode made off time feel a little less isolating. Amazing.
Totally.
Love that.
And you know what? If you've got a Shakey or Fakey story of your own, send it on in, please. We love them. We absolutely do.
Yeah, that link's in the description. Fill out the form. Tell us the funny thing that you went through. You might hear just like Cheryl today. So Cheryl, thank you for that submission. That was amazing. Great. That was so funny. And you know what? And hey, if this helped you, give it a like and share it with somebody who needs it. And consider subscribing for more real talk like this. And until next time, Brian, I hope you have an amazing week of moving.
You too, buddy. Yeah,
of
stay
moving. Enjoy the move. Take care of yourself. Take it easy. Pull, do your thing. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being with us. Bye now.
You did it. You made it through another episode of Life in Motion. That's 20 to 30 minutes you could have spent folding laundry, Googling your symptoms, or rearranging the 14 pill bottles on your nightstand. Instead, you hung out with Bryce and Brian. That's friendship. Or questionable time management. Either way, we're grateful. Be sure to follow the show, leave a review, or just yell, "I have Parkinson's and I'm fabulous," into your backyard. We'll hear you. Probably. New episodes drop regularly, unless we both forget. Until next time, keep laughing, keep shaking things up. And if you find our train of thought, please return it.